and welcome back to my channel. For anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Sara Kelly. I'm an ADHD mindset coach, and I come out with videos every single week on everything ADHD and the isms that pair with having ADHD. If you're not already following my channel, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you never miss a video from me. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I do a lot of research for the videos that I create and the program that I have. Today I want to talk about the experiences of myself and some of the women that I interviewed when I built my program, ADHD Mindset Mastery. What I really want to do is talk about the female presentation of ADHD, not according to the literature, but according to my personal experience and the 60 women who I interviewed when I was building ADHD Mindset Mastery. When I first decided to get into coaching and deciding to coach specifically women who are late diagnosed with ADHD, it really was rooted in the fact that I have ADHD late diagnosed. I was only diagnosed at 44 years old, just 3.5 years ago. And I struggled with anxiety and depression and crippling overwhelm for most of my adult life. And when I take a look back throughout my life, I noticed that university brought on my ADHD symptoms to be very, very elevated. Motherhood, problems in my marriage at one point in my relationship. And so when I started interviewing these women, because I wanted to build something that was unique to women with ADHD based on our lived experience and challenges as ADHDers, I was really surprised to hear some of the common themes that so many women struggle with. So the point of today's video is to hopefully have you feeling not so alone in your ADHD experience. And I would really love this video to be really interactive. So if I'm missing anything that you've experienced, or if something that I'm saying resonates with you and you also share this experience, please do not be shy and flood the comments. I promise you that I will answer all of the comments in this video. Some of the really common themes were rejection sensitivity dysphoria. Now, this term is not currently in the DSM as a marker of having ADHD, but there's a huge correlation between rejection sensitivity and being an ADHDer. The term was coined by William Dodson, and it is perceived or actual rejection from others or rejection of oneself. Something that I share on this channel a lot is that the average child by age 10 years old has received 20,000 pieces of negative feedback, whether they know they have ADHD or not, next to their neurotypical counterpart. That is going to make us more prone to rejection. And I remember when I was a little girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old, I was attempting to cook and the pot wasn't hot or anything, but the pot fell off the stove and landed on my toe. And my toe got really, really bruised, and inevitably my toenail turned black and fell off. 40 years later, if I even drop a pillow on the ground, I jump back like it's a pot that's going to bruise my toenail. We almost develop this type of reflex to rejection where we jump to the conclusion that we are being rejected. If rejection sensitivity dysphoria is something that you struggle with, I do have a couple of videos linked here in the description that you can check out after you finish watching this one. Out of the 60 women who I interviewed to build my program, including myself, 61 women, there were only 2 who relayed to me that they have never struggled with rejection sensitivity dysphoria. So that's a really common theme amongst us. If you are hypersensitive to perceived or actual rejection, and you're just finding out that you have ADHD, or you don't have an ADHD community at this point to share your woes, your ideas, and your struggles as an ADHD, I want you to know that you're not alone in that. Another epiphany that was really interesting to me is there are 3 different kinds of ADHD: inattentive, hyperactive, and then combine both inattentive and hyperactive. I have combined ADHD. I'm very quiet. I'm also quite introverted and a little bit more reserved. I had no idea that the hyperactivity of the combined presentation of ADHD in many women is an internal phenomenon. For me, the hyperactivity manifests as my brain never shuts off. I am always looking for all of the details to all of the things, and I can squirrel within my thought process rapidly. Now this leads to me going to get something out of the fridge, forgetting what I'm going to get out of the refrigerator, and then doing the dishes and watering plants and doing all of these things where I'm literally all over the place, and the reason that I got up in the first place I totally forget about. Another common theme that I noticed was that a lot of these women did very, very well in elementary school. And then when junior high, maybe kind of half and half, and high school came along, that is when the wheels started falling off. The stereotypical hyper little boy bouncing off the walls was not the experience that a lot of us females had. And I think there's a few reasons for this. For one, females, especially in North America and probably some parts of Europe, are socialized in very different ways than boys are. Girls are supposed to sit nice and be quiet and pay attention, and being a daydreamer is something that I heard a lot growing up. For me personally, school was really, really easy while the teacher was holding my hand and I wasn't getting a lot of homework. Once I got to junior high and started getting a lot of homework, that is definitely where the wheels fell off for me with regards to my education, and my grades plummeted. Another theme that I noticed when I was interviewing these women is that we all struggle with emotional dysregulation, and during our menstrual cycle it can be exasperated. We have a loss of estrogen, we aren't as able to create dopamine as we are when we're not on our periods, and a lot of us who have a heavier period do risk becoming anemic because of iron deficiency, which there is science that supports that low iron and executive dysfunction becoming worse, and brain fog and all of the things that pair with having ADHD can be exacerbated as a woman during that time of the month. When it comes to emotional dysregulation, you know, a lot of the men who do tend to be a little bit more immature than women, we tend to mature a little bit quicker than men, they might be more outwardly emotionally dysregulated when things are not going well. For myself, I internalized it. I internalized it greatly. My self-talk was not healthy. I would go to absolutes like, oh, I'm too much for everybody, and I'm lazy, and I'm always doing everything wrong. These blanket statements are the reason that I really, answered the call to becoming a life coach, to not only fix my own anxiety and depression and all the time that I was living in my own head, but also to help women do the same. And this brings me in beautifully to invite you to my complimentary masterclass. It is a condensed version of my program, ADHD Mindset Mastery. There's no charge to attend the masterclass. It's pre-recorded so that you can watch it at your leisure. And it goes over the 5 pillars to creating lasting change when you have ADHD and you struggle with mindset, working memory, rejection sensitivity, dysphoria, emotional dysregulation, organization, procrastination, all of the isms of having ADHD. There is a link in the description of this video that you can sign up to at your leisure. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you haven't already liked this video, please like this video and share this with an ADHDer who you love, or a neurotypical who you love, in order to help them understand you better. And if you are female identifying and you have ADHD, or you think you have ADHD, I have a free Facebook group, No Sales Nonsense. The link to join that Facebook group is also in the description of this video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next week in the next video.